Netflix's Hellbound is a South Korean supernatural drama that centers around the idea of a supernatural force coming to individuals and informing them that they will die, when and where, and that they are now condemned to hell. Once the date and time arrives, three hulking monsters come and beat you within an inch of your life, and then scorch your body until there's nothing left. Now, that doesn't sound like there's too much of a story behind that, but what follows is different things such as resistance, denial, and different cults of personality that form around this phenomenon. Now, this series, especially if you're not paying attention, just kind of seems like nonsense at first. However, if you really sit down and watch it, what you find is a kind of a study on human behavior and how we will attribute different things to religion when there might not necessarily be a connection. And this story kind of happens in two parts. In the beginning, you're seeing people kind of doubt the phenomenon and not really putting much stock into it until it happens live on television. And it's very interesting. It really speaks to the idea of people's infatuation with recording their lives on their phones and with social media. And what I really thought was interesting is that not one, but two very different cult-like factions develop over this phenomenon. One is sort of like a quasi-religious type of organization that basically develops over a cult of personality by a figure that pretty much prophesies these events before they really hit the mainstream and was not taken seriously until these events hit social media. And the other group you see is a very militant religious organization, but not really heavy on the religion, but more so on the idea of conformity through being pure of sin. And what you really see is that the regular people caught in the middle of this are really just trying to live their lives and survive, even though this really random phenomenon keeps taking place in which people, regardless of where they are, if they're by themselves or if they're in a crowded place, can be visited by this face in the sky that tells them when they're going to die. And what I found interesting is that it's almost inevitable. It's almost once you've been announced that you're going to die, you can run, you can hide when the time hits, and you hear the sounds, the rumble in the earth, and these gigantic monsters appear from nowhere. There is no escaping them. They are going to get you, and there's nothing that can stand in the way of them wrecking shop, wreaking havoc on everything around them until they put hands on you and essentially destroy your body. So one thing that I appreciated was how the CGI was done. Normally in shows like this, the CGI is really haphazard. It's not really done exceptionally well, and it just looks like, the actors are not really in the situation. It looks like they're just running from an imaginary friend. But in this particular series, you really do get to see the actors. They genuinely have a look of terror on their face when they're interacting with these monsters, and that's just a testament to the performances of the actors. Story-wise, the characters in the first half are really strong. Some of the characters in the second half, not so much, but it's nothing that's really jarring to the point where it'll take you out of the experience. It's just some of the actors are just better than the others. Now, from a plot standpoint, the plot is it's serviceable. Now, some points of the plot don't really make a whole lot of sense. In particular, the government and law enforcement's willingness to cooperate with this obviously psychotic cult. But, if you can suspend disbelief, it works. Other than that, I just genuinely enjoyed it, and I'm really, looking forward to season 2. If you enjoyed, things like Squid Game, or you really like supernatural dramas, this is definitely up your alley. I would say definitely give it a shot, especially if you're really into how people deal with cult like situations or cult of personality. I'd say definitely give it a shot. It's definitely worth a watch. It's only 7 episodes, so I mean, it's lean, and it tells its story. So if I had to put a number on it, I'd give this a 7.5 out of 10. So with that being said, guys, we will see you on the next one. Be sure to check us out on all our other social media platforms. If you feel like we've earned your like and subscription, hit that like button, maybe even subscribe. And we'll see you on the next one. 8-Bit Heroes out. Peace.